Brooks Running has a new shoe for you runners out there. Did you hear that? Better turn up your volume. In fact, turn it up to the max. Introducing the all-new Ghost Max. It's got all kinds of things to make your knees and ankles feel protected, like Max Cushion, Max Soft Landings with DNA Loft V2 foam, and Max Smooth Rides with their Glide Roll Rocker. Feel better on your run with Ghost Max. Learn more at brooksrunning.com.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast. The Waco History Podcast is sponsored by Brotherwell Brewery on historic Bridge Street in Waco.
Welcome to the Waco History Podcast. We're going to air for you over the next few months a special series of Waco History Living Stories. These were segments that were originally aired on KWBU here in Waco. They were produced by the Institute for Oral History editor, Michelle Holland, and narrated by two fabulous narrators, Louis Maze and Kim Patterson. And so these highlight oral histories from the collection of the Institute for Oral History at Baylor University, which I direct, which has been around since 1970 and has over 1,000 interviews related to Waco and McLennan County history, and we're happy to highlight those here. Cross the Brazos at Waco, ride hard and I'll make it by dawn. Before drugstores were on every corner, home remedies were the way to cure what ails you. In this Living Stories segments, we hear about some popular home remedies of the past.
Then the night came alive with gunfire.
Home remedies have been around for thousands of years, passed down from one generation to the next, and utilizing common products to treat illnesses. In early 1900s Waco, these treatments abounded. Mary Sendón recalls home remedies her family used.
They would use coal oil and rock candy. It was supposed to be for coughs and chest colds. Then they used mustard plasters for chest pains and pneumonia. Now, that's what they used on my grandfather in pneumonia. And this is a funny story about that. My grandfather really wasn't bad. They thought he was dying. He was having what they call sinking spells. You know, he just gets so weak. It was during the Prohibition days, and the doctor could order whiskey from a drugstore with a prescription. Well, the doctor ordered a bottle of whiskey from Old Corner Drugstore, and he told all of my aunts, everybody came together to help. And he said, get him an eggnog every 30 minutes. He told him how to do it. Put a tablespoon of whiskey in a glass and fill it with egg beaten up real stiff. Said every 30 minutes, see that he gets one. Well, he set out the whiskey, and, all night long they were beating eggs, and they beat them by hand. They didn't have any kind of egg beaters. The next morning he was improving, and he recovered. The egg gave him strength, and the alcohol was accelerating the cure. It was accelerating the killing of the germ. That's the way he put it.
Sendón explains other treatments.
They used turpentine. Turpentine was a good cure. I remember going after the milk one day from a neighbor's house, and I stepped on a nail. And, everybody just got so excited because the nail was so dangerous, and that was a rusty nail. Well, they got the coal oil and just poured it over my foot and kept pouring it over my foot. And that stopped the infection, coal oil.
Woodrow Carlisle tells how he nursed his nemesis.
My main problem was poison oak. Being light-skinned, my arms would get poison oak on them and crack open like a dry riverbed, just separate. And if we had calamine lotion, we used that. But other than that, in the summer, you just laid out on the ground and let the sun or whatever heal it.
Catherine Carlisle remembers a home remedy her family once performed on her.
I went to the Waco Temple High School football game, and it was so cold. And coming home, I could hardly breathe. When I got home, they put towels on my chest and ironed through the towels the heat. As I remember, we were up practically all night, and early in the morning, my dad went to get the doctor. We didn't have a telephone. And he came and said that I had pneumonia. but that all the heat that had been applied had broken it up and that I'd be fine.
Today, the rising cost of traditional health care and a growing interest in a more holistic approach to illness have boosted the popularity of home remedies. And the internet has made them much easier to share.
Thanks for listening to the Waco History Podcast. Like what you heard? Subscribe, rate, and review our show on iTunes so we can reach more listeners. You can find show notes and info on every episode at wacohistorypodcast.com, and more info on Waco's past at wacohistory.org. Our theme music, used with permission, is Cross the Brazos at Waco, performed by the late Billy Walker. For more info on Billy's music, go to billywalker.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
When I reach San Antonio.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.